So for me, it was just really overplayed, but I wouldn't call it a dud. It was overly relied on for that one thing.
Well, I think that's what distinguishes a real Avatar fan from
yeah,
yourself.
Someone who loves every episode no matter what. And, a snob. I bet it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah. Now you get it.
I don't know. I don't think you got a very good grasp of the show, but whatever.
The show butt.
Yeah, the show butt.
You got to get a good grasp of the show butt.
You got to grab the show butt and run with it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 16 of Screenwoven. I am Chris Davis. This is Daniel. We are your hosts. This is your hub for all things story.
Stories.
I'm going to get it right one day. Every time I go to say it, I'm like, stories. And then I second guess myself, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's story. And I'll get it right. We need to add it to our logo so I can your hub for all things stories.
We didn't pass reading either.
Yeah. It took me a minute. But yeah, episode
That's quick.
16.
16, baby.
We are quickly
it's our
approaching
sweet 16.
20. I know.
And the reason 20 is a milestone is because...
Yeah, I keep bringing that up. I don't know if we've explained it
Yeah.
on... Go ahead.
Apparently, something like 80 to 90% of podcasts just drop out before episode 20. They never make it to 20 episodes.
Yep. And ever since he told me that little statistic, I've been eyes on the prize. That's where I'm at. So that's why I keep bringing that up if I haven't said that on here. My bad. Y'all are probably like, are they stopping at 20? What they're retiring? They're hanging the jerseys up in the rafters? No. We're just going to pat ourselves on the back very prematurely, but it's cool.
That's right.
It's cool. Maybe our 20th episode will be the one. It'll be the one.
Yeah.
Probably won't be, though.
No.
But in this one...
That was a weird laugh I just did. Did you hear that?
I didn't think it was weird.
Well, it
something more like a chuckle.
It stuttered before it started.
Yeah. I guess because I was too busy trying to think, okay, where am I going with this segue? And then I wasn't paying attention. But
like a Segway scooter?
Yeah. I just didn't want to fall off a curb or anything.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh my gosh, I saw someone actually legitimately on a main road riding a Razor scooter, the old school push with your leg Razor scooter. And my first thought was that is one of the most inconvenient ways you could be traveling.
Mm-hmm.
But then my second thought was, man, they're really getting some distance. I don't know if their leg was just that strong or if they just had the wheels that loose or what, but man, it was every push they were zooming. My scooter used to never do it would go a few feet with each push.
Yeah.
Of course, I had little teeny tiny kid legs. I have not ridden a scooter since I was 8.
Teen?
Yeah, 18, 19. This was last week.
Yeah.
But no, I was man, they're really rolling on that thing. But still, they had grocery bags. I'm how are you doing that? I could barely ride one when that was the only thing I was focused on. Not even trying to focus on traffic, balancing grocery bags. I don't know. It was crazy. Did you have a scooter?
That's weird because I read a news story about a scooter who... No, I'm just kidding. I was going to get morbid if I finished that. What a coincidence. You saw a scooter guy. I read a story.
I just hit one of them the other day. Over by where you live.
That would have been funnier.
I saw a comedian on...
I wasn't even in a car. I just run up and punched him.
I was in a car. I got out of it. I saw a comedian the other day that reminds me on TikTok. I wish I could remember his name, but this is obviously not something I could ever be smart enough to come up with, so I'm not trying to take material, but I thought it was funny. He was talking about how cars nowadays just come with so many ridiculous bells and whistles, things that no one ever asked for or needed. He's for example, my mom got a brand new, whatever it was, some big SUV. And he's the other day, I get in it, I'm going to move it, and I turn it on, big screen lights up right there in front of me, put it in reverse to back it out of the driveway, and without prompting it, without asking it to do anything, all of a sudden, it just starts playing this video of a kid getting run over on a skateboard. I was that is hilarious. That is hilarious.
That is funny. That's not even a joke. That's just what happened.
Yeah. But anyway. So yeah, I don't even remember how we got on that scooter thing.
Me neither.
But
it has a lot to do with our topic today, though.
it really doesn't.
Yeah. No, it does.
At all.
Because the silver scooter.
Oh my gosh. All right. I hate that that's semi-accurate. Okay, we'll use that as the segue. That's what it was. I said segue.
Segway, yeah. And then I deterred it.
Yeah.
By talking about scooters.
But yeah, so today we're gonna discuss, review Marvel's Fantastic Four. That is the final big Marvel project of the year. I mean, we're getting oh my gosh, what's it called? Eyes of Wakanda, or the animated show on this. But this is the last major cinematic, like big project until next year,
Next
which is
summer.
really, really hard to deal with because this year we got 3 Marvel movies, and honestly, they were all fairly enjoyable. Like the worst one, I still walked out of being like, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
So, they're getting back on track. They're gaining a lot of positive, what's the word? Somewhat, but like faith, like positive faith from the audience. Trust there.
Trust.
They're getting a lot of trust back from the audiences, I think, and at least the core like Marvel nerd audience. I mean, the general public. We're kind of at a point now where I think they can't put anything out that's not going to get semi-shredded to pieces. So, that's just where we are now, and that's fine. We've talked about that. But all in all, I think we could agree Marvel is, I'd say 3 for 3. At least 2 for 3 this year, if not 3 for 3. Maybe we'd have to later do an episode where we either rank or just kind of go back in hindsight and look at, maybe like at the end of the year, mark down all the movies we watched and kind of rank them or something. That'd be cool.
No.
Okay. That was easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so kind of kissing the summer blockbuster season goodbye with this episode. It's bittersweet. I think we had a pretty good run this summer. There were actually a few that I wanted to, or at least a couple. No, there's a few that I wanted to see that I didn't get to. Never got to see the last Mission Impossible.
Oh, yeah.
Never got to see F1. I heard great things about that. And even before it came out, I had one of the last movies we went to before it came out, which it might have been Captain America. But one of the last movies we went to, I saw a trailer for that, and I was like, you know what? I'm actually kind of getting sold on that movie. Like, I think it's actually going to be a really good, entertaining movie. So, never did get to see that. And then I know you weren't really interested in it, but the Jurassic World, just for the sake of having something to, rip apart a little bit,
Oh, sure, yeah.
But
oh, boy.
Yeah.
Okay, I just looked this up because you reminded me. So the final Mission Impossible will start streaming August 19th. That's not that far away.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I gotta check that one out. I really just need to finish my rewatch-a-thon, really watch-a-thon, because I'd only ever really seen one of them. But
you've seen the first one now, right?
I have now seen the first 3.
Oh, the first 3. So you saw the one with Philip Seymour Hoffman?
Is he the bad guy?
Yeah.
See, it starts out with him having Tom Cruise trapped. Yeah. That one was intense.
Yeah. So 2 is the worst one, and it's not even terrible, but it's the worst one in the series. 3 is a little bit better than 1, and you're like, oh, that was kind of cool. 4 is when it just goes to a new level.
It's funny you say
4
that,
and on,
because that's Ghost
Protocol.
Protocol. That was where I stopped. I never did make it to 4, and then 5 is I think the one me and you watched in theaters.
We watched 6. That was Fallout.
Oh,
with Henry Cavill.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So when I told someone, they were like, "So which ones have you seen?" I was like, "Yeah, I saw the one with Henry Cavill first, and then I went back because I enjoyed it so much." And I was like, "I think I saw the first 3." They're like, "So you haven't seen 4?" And I was like, no, which one's 4? And they're like, the Ghost Protocol? It's like, oh, no, I haven't seen that. It goes, oh my gosh, that's one of the best ones. How have you stopped there? That's one of the best. They were like, shit, that might have been you.
It was me, yeah.
I was going to say, that might have been you.
Well, at least what you didn't do is like stop like at the end, like right before the end of one of the movies, like right before the last ending scene happened.
I probably did.
That was
I was watching them all on Prime, so.
that was a callback to a previous episode for anyone who is a fan of this. Mom.
Yeah. Hi, Mom. No, yeah, I was really enjoying them though. I need to finish going through them so I can watch the newer ones. But so we never did see that F1, Jurassic World, Rebirth, or whatever. Was that it? I can't remember if there were any. Well, I did go see the live action Lilo and Stitch, the live action How to Train Your Dragon, and
you went and saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Was it good?
I thought maybe we didn't talk.
We
Yeah,
didn't talk.
I mean, actually, I would say, I don't know if you remember. I know I talked about the live action Lilo and Stitch on here, and if you remember at the time, I told you like it's the best live action adaptation I've seen, which is to say, far from perfect, but like it's not like a high bar, but it was the best one I'd seen. But they changed a lot that I didn't like in it.
Yeah,
no Gantu and things like that. The How to Train Your Dragon is probably the most faithful live action adaptation I've ever seen.
My only gripe with it was it looked too much like it looked like a carbon copy.
Well, see, that's kind of the thing you get into with these movies is you start to question. Well, I think you and I have been questioning their purpose, like ever since we were doing like Mega Media Nerds.
Yeah.
Like for years we've been wondering why are people doing this, but yeah, that's kind of the thing you get into. It's like if they're too different, you're like, that's not even the movie.
Yeah.
And if they're too much the same, you're like, we already have this.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of a vicious cycle, but I will say, if it's a movie that I really enjoy the original version, I'm cool with a carbon copy because it worked the first time. There's a reason it worked. If you can recapture, I'm just looking at that point, can you recapture that magic but with live actors? Sure. And I'd say they did. They did a really good job. I liked that one better than the Lilo and Stitch one.
Might be worth a shot.
So,
yeah.
but yeah. So I mean, we're moving out of the summer season, moving into fall. There's still a couple of big releases that I'm looking forward to. I know tonight I'm going with my wife and my brother-in-law to see Bad Guys 2.
Okay.
I'm really just going because my wife and my brother-in-law want to go. I like the first one, but this isn't one I was like, I have to see it in theaters. But I'm hoping that'll be pretty good. And we still got Nobody 2 in August.
Oh, yeah.
Naked Gun comes out, I think, this weekend. I think either this week or next week. I think it's this weekend. Man, I wonder if I can just sneak into that theater while they're watching Bad Guy 2. I've heard great things about the Naked Gun, by the way.
Oh, really?
Great. Jeremy Johns is a movie reviewer on YouTube that I trust a lot. I've followed him for years. He's pretty fair.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he was very surprised walking out of it, how much he laughed. It was very, very funny. Obviously a mix of like, you got like your dad joke kind of material in there, but it fits because it's the Naked Gun.
Yeah.
And then like other kinds of jokes thrown in as well. He said it was very funny. It debuted with 100% on Rotten Tomatoes from critics, and it was the highest debut for a comedy in like 13 years or something.
Amazing.
So it's gotten really positive reviews. So I don't know if that's one you want to go see or not, but I'm definitely gonna go check that one out.
I probably won't see it in theaters.
Okay.
You know that I'm interested though to see. That's an interesting stat because I feel like comedy as a genre has really dropped off.
Yeah,
since
it's
like
really
the Jim Carrey era. Like Adam Sandler, it was kind of, but even Adam Sandler's, like his stuff was good, but it wasn't nearly as good. Like comedy was at like peak level in the Jim Carrey, and I'm not saying just because of Jim Carrey. I'm just saying,
yeah, I get what you're. I mean,
like Bill Murray, like the guys who like the modern comedy genre.
Well, I'd say that the '90s to the early 2000s was really the peak of the comedy movie. You had the Adam Sandler run of like Happy Gilmore, the one where he goes to school,
Billy
Madison, Waterboy, Big Daddy,
yeah,
Mr. Deeds, like 4, 5, 6. But then Jim Carrey, you had the Ace Venturas, The Mask. What was one of his other big ones from the 90s? I know he had at least another big one.
Liar, Liar, Bruce Almighty.
Yeah. I mean, and I think one of those. I think Bruce Almighty goes into the early 2000s. But that's what I'm saying. That 90s to early 2000s, you had a ton of them. The Ghostbusters movie. Well, no, that was 80s, wasn't it? Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bill Murray
maybe
was like
80s to the
the forerunner for that stuff.
It had like a 20-year golden age, like from the 80s to the early 2000s, and then after that it's kind of slowly tapered off. I mean, by the time we were in like high school, you still had a few coming out, but like anymore, it's really rare to see a just a pure comedy.
Yeah,
that's not like an action film with a comedic element or a romantic, like a rom-com or whatever. Like it's really rare to just see a pure comedy. The last one I remember,
Anchorman 2, I think, is the last one that was...
Well, no, because Tag came out after that.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Yeah, you've told me about this before. I need to
Tag
watch
is so good.
You know what I was thinking we should do after this episode, since we're like kind of
just
done
hang
with
out, go eat lunch or something?
Yeah, sure. Friends. That was the weakest high five
It was
ever.
terrible, but I knew it'd be worse if I was like, can we redo that? Because that's like classic white guy stereotype that we redo high fives. So I was like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I'm with you there. We own our terrible high fives.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I really want you to see Stranger Than Fiction because
right. Yeah.
So I was gonna say you should pick a movie for me, and then we should do an episode where we've watched.
Are we gonna battle comedies and see whose is funnier?
Well, Stranger Than Fiction isn't a pure comedy. It's a dramedy.
Oh, okay.
So it's funny, but it's also like you leave the movie going like, wow, that was really good. Like it
kind of a little deeper than just a comedy.
Yeah,
I got you. Okay, yeah, fair enough. We'll have to start planning some of those out and see what we're gonna do next. But yeah, I do want to see that. So all that to say, Naked Gun for me, it's a breath of fresh air to see just a pure comedy in the theaters, and it's doing well. People are enjoying it, and especially, I think I told you that I was so worried with this being a remake or like a remakeable as they're calling it, because it's a reboot really, but it follows the original thing. Like Liam Neeson's playing the son of Leslie Nielsen.
Oh.
So like it's in the same, universe. It's a sequel still kind of, but it's really a remake also. So I was really nervous about that. Still not sure until I see the movie how I'm going to feel about Liam Neeson as Frank Drebin. Jeremy Johns kind of talked about how like him being so serious is kind of what helps sell it. And I believe that, but I've just got this thing in my head that I think Steve Carell could have done that and achieved it. To me, Steve Carell does this just look at The Office. He does like the serious thing, but for a comedic purpose so well.
Get Smart.
Get Smart, another great example. Yeah. Actually, kind of in the same vein because it's like he's not a cop, but I mean it's similar. So yeah, but anyway. Yeah, all that to say, sadly, moving away from the summer blockbuster season, but we still got some pretty cool releases in the fall to talk about, and then plenty of other movies. We've been, like, making a list of... We still got a huge list of topics we wanted to talk about on, like, our little shared note thing, so... Still plenty to talk about as we move away from it, but sadly, we are a year away from the next big Marvel blockbuster.
But that is why you are so lucky to have us to listen to, because we're going to be so entertaining until the next Marvel movie comes out.
We're going to get you through it.
It's going to switch from you're no longer listening to Screenwoven to hear more about the Marvel movies you wanted to see. You're like tuning into Screenwoven because it's so entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be Marvel level entertainment of comedy and just... You need to believe in what I'm saying, Chris.
I was going to say, I don't think I could have been less believable with my weak little Like, even I sound sad about it.
You're, like, crying in the back.
I'm going to miss you, Marvel. No, yeah, we got plenty to talk. It's going to be fun. I'm sure it's no secret on here. I'm a huge Marvel nerd, and I'm really, really, really looking forward to the next big things they're moving towards. We are going to actually talk on a little bit of that today. You had said before we started recording there were some things you wanted to talk about as well.
Well, I want to. It's related to Fantastic Four, so I think we should do our review first.
Okay.
But just not make it. I mean, I don't think this review is going to be as long as Superman because
Probably not.
I think we both pretty much feel the same. There might be a little bit of discussion, but things I've looked up about Secret Wars have led me to some things that I feel like would be interesting to talk about.
Okay.
So,
Well, do you want me to touch on these other little things before we jump into the review, or?
what are you sure? What other little things?
So just a few little movie news tidbits. I think one is actually still related to Fantastic Four, but so yesterday, official production started on Spider-Man: Brand New Day.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Looney Tunes, the Coyote.
Yeah, there's been a release date announced. Thank goodness. August of next year. I think August 8th, maybe. Could be wrong on that, but it's August of next year, so we're about a year away from that.
I know you're excited about that one.
I am very excited about that. I'm still so happy that Warner Bros. Finally came to their senses and just let this Ketchup Entertainment or Animation, I think Ketchup Entertainment, take it off their plate and just run with it. I think it's going to be really funny. From what I understand, James Gunn had his hand in it, and
oh, cool.
A lot of people might not know this, but I grew up with the live-action Scooby-Doo movies 1 and 2, and he did those too.
James Gunn did those?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he's really good at taking old cartoons and making them into real movies.
He's got a lot of range as a director.
He really does. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to it. I don't know how much of a hand he had in it, but the fact that he had any hand in it tells me he had a little faith in it. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But no,
so brand new day.
Yeah, new day. Yeah, production started yesterday. So there have already been some set photos leaked and things like that. Nothing too oh yeah.
I haven't seen any.
Nothing too crazy yet. They've shown pictures of buses with the New York thing wraps on them and stuff, street signs and stuff that they're putting out. But the biggest thing I saw leaked was a wanted poster that has what appears to be Professor Hulk's face on it. So I guess it is true that Hulk is playing some form of at least perceived villain in the movie. We'll see how that goes. But a few weeks ago, this was actually released on IMDb, and I wanted to read it. I don't know how much we really can glean from it, but it's interesting that it's out this early. So this is the summary right now for the movie, for the plot. It says, after the world has forgotten his name, Peter Parker begins a new chapter in his life, balancing college classes, part-time work, and his responsibility as New York's friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. But when a mysterious force begins to unravel the city from the inside out, Peter finds himself caught between powerful enemies, old legacies, and unexpected allies. As shadows from the past creep into his present, he must redefine what it truly means to be a hero in his own. So
that sounds so good.
For me, this is obviously me reading between the lines a bit, and then also looking at some of the casting announcements. Not announcements, but announcing that they're trying to cast a specific type role for the movie, but in secret. I don't know how familiar you are with the 2018 PlayStation 4 game, the Spider-Man game that came out.
Vaguely.
The villain in that was Mr. Negative, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be the new big bad, at least for this movie, if not the trilogy. And Martin Lee, oh my gosh, if they can write him as compellingly as they did in that game, oh, that is going to be so good, especially with all that this Peter has been through. Dude, oh man. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So I thought that was pretty neat. Do you take anything from that? I mean, I know you said it sounds cool. Do you hear anything that you're like, oh, this makes me think maybe they go this direction, or you just kind of rolling with that?
The only thing, I don't know why, there's nothing in there to make me feel this way, but as you're reading it, my mind started going. I'm like, I wonder if they're gonna because I initially thought that at the end of No Way Home, that it was well, obviously he's gonna get back with MJ somehow, and Ned, but I'm wondering. I'm like, maybe he's moved on from them, and he like meets Gwen Stacy or something.
Yeah,
And
I think a lot.
yeah, Sadie Sink is supposed to be in this one.
Yeah,
and there's rumors that she's going to play Mary Jane.
Yeah,
so
we'll see. Yeah, it's I think the fan base is pretty split. I think a lot of people are hoping we're done with the Zendaya, MJ, and I forget his name, but the guy who plays Ned.
Yeah.
I think they're kind of done with that. They do want to move on. I don't know. They'd have to explain it pretty well with how he ended No Way Home, like going to see them at the little donut shop, and like just you could see how heartbroken he was.
Yeah, but I think they did conclude it because he realized this is time for a new chapter for me, and they're better off without me.
Right, and that makes sense, but I'd still need some explanation narratively as to like what. Look, he's still a human. He's selfish, and he was in love with this person, and that was his best friend. Like, people don't just walk away from stuff like that. At least not permanently necessarily. Like I can live with him walking away from it at the end of that movie and going to like do his Spider-Man thing in the heart of the city. I still get chills when I think about him in the little crappy apartment, sewing machine with the homemade Spidey costume, lifts up the window, and we finally get a scene of him like web swinging in the heart of New York. But as far as like a whole new trilogy, and we're not going back to them at all, I'm not gonna say it would ruin it for me. It won't ruin it for me, but I would say it bears a little explaining of like, did he just, like you said, officially just decide, no, I'm moving on because they're better without me, or like, is he still kind of checking in on them, or I don't know.
I see what you're saying. I can agree with that. But like they should show that not Mary Jane, that MJ like found someone else, that she's got a life, and Peter, like maybe it's been years now,
right?
And Peter's like, I've accepted it, and
yeah. And then, like you said, that opens the door for like Felicia Hardy, aka Black Cat, or Gwen Stacy to come in, or an actual like Mary Jane,
or not Miles Morales.
Oh my gosh! First of all, they're not doing Miles Morales.
I know
they can't.
I know.
You don't like Miles Morales?
We've had this discussion before.
I don't know if I knew you. You don't like him at all as a character?
For the most part, no. I can live with him. I mean, I liked Into the Spider-Verse.
I was gonna say, have you seen those movies?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good movie, but I think Spider-Man exists way better without most of the multiverse characters. Like, it worked with Toby and Andrew because they were already like that wasn't ever like written to be that. So bringing that in was kind of like a nostalgic like like fan service type thing. So I'd worked with them, but you know how I feel about the multiverse in general. It's like
I know. I still struggle to get my head around it because as a person who like grew up watching the animated shows and like being interested in the comic, I can't say I was always reading the comics because my parents would never buy them for me, but like that stuff has always appealed. I've always loved that. Like
yeah, that's
the Spider-Verse stuff.
And I will say the way Marvel has generally done it in the MCU has been pretty cool. And I'm really looking forward to this Doom stuff. And, we need to get to the Fantastic Four review.
We will. I mean, like you said, here's what I don't want. I don't want to rush to it and be like, all right, well, that was nothing. Because, I mean, like you said, I think we mostly agree on that. We're going to discuss it a little, but I think we pretty much agree on that. So I'm trying to come up with a few other things to throw in here. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. So there's been some fan casting, just to kind of finish out this vein of the Spider-Man stuff, some fan casting going around of there's some rumors that we actually are going to get the Osborns introed in this new trilogy, since they haven't been in the MCU to this point. And
will we get Oscorp?
Well, yeah, if the Osborns come in, yeah, we would get Oscorp and stuff.
Dude, that's going to make me so happy.
Yeah, so right now one of the big fan cast choices for Norman is Hayden Christensen, like now at his older age, playing Norman Osborn. I don't love it as far as what I think of when I think Norman Osborn, but when I think of who his son would most likely be, just because I know how Marvel is and I know how the fan base is and I know who they've been rooting for to be Harry Osborn, it actually, to me, makes the most sense. Like, they look very similar. And that is Timothy Chalamet as Harry Osborn. That's probably going to happen.
That'd be cool. Yeah,
so
they do
Hayden
look
Christensen as Norman Osborn, I
But,
think.
All right, this might be controversial. I think Hayden Christensen is not a good actor. And 2, they've made like a bunch of Star Wars references in the MCU. So that's really awkward.
Well,
Like,
Sam Jackson's already in it. I mean, that ship has sailed.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually.
Not to mention, there was like a whole YouTube compilation of like all the like references they made, but then brought in actors from like that showed up in those properties, and it's like, okay, dang, they've actually like done this like a lot.
Okay, this might give them an opportunity to still put Star Wars in the multiverse.
This actually heightens
it does. No, they could explain it and be like, actually, those are historical records.
Right. Yeah,
Like
this really happened.
Look, I'm being like 90% serious
No,
here.
I'm being for real with you. I don't think it's going to happen, but I don't think so I'm really with you on this.
And then someone from Hollywood like stole it. And all right, it's getting too deep now.
I don't know if this is news or not. It's interesting, and it does actually tie into the Fantastic Four a little bit because it's something I'm going to talk about. Apparently, Marvel's quote-unquote legendary intro will not be used anymore in movies. First time, apparently, we saw it was in Doctor Strange back in 2016. I thought we had been seeing it longer than that. I'd have to go back and look. And the last time we saw it was in 2024's Deadpool and Wolverine. There will be a new logo animation thing that will be revealed in Spider-Man Brand New Day. And then I think lastly here, have you heard what the opening weekend domestically brought in for Fantastic Four?
I have not.
Opening weekend, not week, just the weekend, for Fantastic Four, whose budget was $200 million, brought in $218 million.
Wow!
In one weekend.
It was a great movie.
It was, and I think
that's our review.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the whole kit and caboodle. So from there, I guess we could talk. What do you want to talk about? We don't got like a movie.
Fantastic Four. All right, let's break it down. I was gonna initially say like we did with Superman, we start with loves, then do gripes. But I think we can just kind of mesh it all together because there's really only 2 minor gripes that I have, and you probably share one of them.
I doubt it.
No, I think you do because you made a face in the movie theater whenever it. All right, well let's get the gripes out of the way because there's so few. We'll just get those. How do you feel about that? All right, my only gripe.
Sorry, that's bad timing.
Johnny's like his humor with the board is not a part of her body on the Silver Surfer. Just rehashing that got really tired really quickly, and it wasn't that funny. You know what I'm talking about? Where he kept being like, the board is not a part of the body.
I know what you're talking about. I mean, for me, that I wouldn't call that a gripe because he only brought it up twice. He asked her.
He brought it up 4 times. He asked her about it. He brought it up, or 3 times, I'm sorry. He brought it up sometime when they were fighting or whatever, and then it was at the very end, too, when he was in the...
When Sue knocked her off, and he said, board, not part of the body.
No. Then at the end, when he's in the makeup chair, and the lady...
Oh, right.
And then it turns out the board is not a part of the body. And I'm like, do you have no other jokes? You know, small gripe. Okay, it didn't take me out of the movie. I was just like,
for me,
right,
I wouldn't call that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say I found it like especially funny. But that's
it. Just Johnny, the character Johnny, is supposed to be really like charismatic and like, you know, he like the Chris Evans Johnny Torch in
was a hoe.
He was, but he was funny. Like he did the thing. Like he made the thing, put whipped cream on his face and stuff like the stuff he did was actually funny, and he was annoying and arrogant and stuff. I loved the Johnny character in this movie. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that attempt at humor kind of like didn't fit him. It didn't mesh well. Very, very minor, like grain of sand level nitpick. I mean, it's
I get I don't. That's not the one you thought I would share though.
Yeah, it is. I thought because you made a face when he was in the makeup chair. You went like you looked at me and I thought, I guess he feels the same way I do.
I was probably just like throwing my hand up like, oh my God, like with the board thing. Like don't get me wrong. I get what you're saying. I'm not saying I was like, what? That was hilarious.
Yeah.
But I don't remember in that moment. And like I said, I saw it. Well, I don't know if I said this. You knew this, but I saw it twice that night because we saw it, and then I waited, and my wife and my brother and all them came up, and we saw it again right after. So, in both showings, I don't remember necessarily being like, oh my gosh, the board thing. I get it. And like you said, if I was going to gripe about it, it'd be a small one. But to me, that's maybe what it is like I just expected at this point, because that's like classic Marvel quipping.
I disagreed with that. Usually Marvel quipping is a lot more clever than that.
Nah.
Like I think it would have been funnier if like it was only 2 times, because when he first asked her, that's when it felt like that to me. I was like, all right, that's kind of funny. Like, so is the board a part of your body? But what should have happened is when it actually came off and he saw it, he should have just said, I knew it, or something like that. And that should have been the end of it. But it was like the same exact phrase, and it was like it was done in like a the board is not a part of the body.
I will. Well, he was running out. He was dying. So he was like wheezing when he said it the second time. But I get what I'll say though.
I don't want to spend time on this. It's a small nitpick. I'm not that mad about it.
Well, to be honest, we have to, because this is probably the only gripes like about the whole movie. So
probably, yeah.
To me, and this does kind of address a larger issue in the MCU, which is the humor has not been hitting for a lot of people for some years now. And like I said, you might disagree, and maybe I'm in the minority, but based on everything I see online, I feel like I'm not.
What about Thunderbolts?
I'm talking about you might disagree specifically with me saying that's like classic Marvel quipping.
Oh. Well,
I think most people would agree that is, and in that, what I'm saying is a lot of people are kind of over the Marvel quipping thing. They're tired of that being like their one shtick comedically.
I see what you're saying.
And don't get me wrong, I'm a lot more forgiving than most people on. I'm not gonna like you said, I'm not gonna rip the movie to shreds. I might gripe about it here or there, nitpick it, but like I'm not gonna rip it for that. But to me, that was pretty par for the course Marvel quipping. Like I saw it and I was like, wasn't not funny, wasn't hilarious. Like it was kind of cutesy or whatever, but it's kind of what I expect going into a thing like this. They've just gotten to a point where they don't let any moment breathe. They always undercut a moment with a joke. Always.
Well, that I know what you're saying with that, but I actually think they did a really good job for 99.99999% of this movie not doing that. They let some moments sit. In this movie. They did.
But I was more, I guess, burying the lead with that. Like, yeah. But anyway. So what was your other gripe?
It was the one I told you when we came out of the theater. It was just that they laid so heavy into the multiverse stuff. Like, and you said this before. It's like, well, it's because we all know where it's going. I'm like, yeah, but that's my point. Like, I know where this is headed, especially with Doom being Iron Man. Like, you've given us enough hints to know where this is eventually going.
Well, we don't know that.
With Robert Downey Jr. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say Iron Man. I meant to say Robert Downey Jr. as Doom.
Right.
Like, you've given me enough of a teaser already to be like, okay, I see what you're like trying to lead towards here. That if you're not going to do anything in this movie, like that's all I need. But they did it so much, and even leading up to it, Marvel released a list of movies that was like, here's all the movies you should watch, and all of them were heavy multiverse.
I really wish I had known you saw that tweet too, because I would have told you, like, dude, read the comments before you put anything into this list.
It doesn't matter. Well, I wasn't even putting anything into that list necessarily. It doesn't even matter what the comments said. It matters that Marvel did it. It's like,
right, but
let me just finish my thought here, because like
no.
All of the lists on those movies were heavy multiverse stuff. Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, Loki. Like, Loki was so heavy multiverse. I mean, he is the guy who's holding all the multiversal time things. And seeing Loki made me be like, man, if they don't deliver on that in some degree, it doesn't have to be a central part of the movie. It could have been a stronger end credit scene, and that would have been fine with me. And they could have done your thing with Doom, which is probably your tiny gripe, but I'll talk on that in a second. But anyway, then in the movie, they started it out Earth 828. Like, it's like they're just like milking it. And then there's a scene where Mr. Fantastic is explaining how the multiverse exists to all of his students. They nearly get sucked into a black hole at some point, which is like, is this going to take them through the multiverse? They started messing around with portals, and they were like, we're going to transport the whole Earth to a different spot. And I'm like, is that going to take them to the multiverse? I mean, they milked it so heavily and didn't deliver at all on that multiverse thing. Now, it's kind of like a similar gripe that I had with Captain America Brave New World, where it was the promotional issue, not the issue with the film. It just seemed like they were trying so hard to be like, what multiversal thing is going to happen in this movie? And then zero. Other than the tiniest little. That was my only gripe. It's too much hype on the multiverse stuff. Other than that, other than those two little things, absolutely phenomenal film. We're going to gush about it here in a second.
Yes, I had forgotten you were talking about all that when we left it. But I know that one was one that sat pretty heavy with you. So for me, I think I had a couple as well. Again, like you said, I don't think any of mine were like movie ruining. So real quick, we haven't like said anything too deep yet. As we always say, though, when we're reviewing a movie, it's a 2-hour format podcast. We're getting pretty deep into it. You know, it's spoilers. So spoilers for Fantastic Four. If you have not seen it, please go give it a watch. Go support your local theater. Support cinema. Go check it out. Enjoy yourself. It's worth seeing in theaters, I think.
Oh, yeah.
If you got a good IMAX theater near you, oh, my gosh, go see it in IMAX. I've seen comparative clips of people who saw it in IMAX versus not and took a picture. Like when Galactus is walking. The difference, oh, my gosh. See it in IMAX if you can. We don't have a great one out here, sadly. But spoilers for the Fantastic Four. Please come back and check out the review after you've seen it. So, yes, you already kind of alluded to one of mine, so I'll just go ahead. We'll talk about that. I have been saying for weeks leading into this movie that if I did not get just at least a scene, whether it was in the movie, post-credits, whatever, of Doom with a line, a word, whatever, just something of him speaking. Didn't even necessarily, I didn't necessarily need to see him full on, but I needed something vocally because I'm mostly sold on RDJ as Doom because of all the rumors going around of like what they're trying to do with him and what this could mean plot-wise and story-wise, and the whole MCU is circled around RDJ since its inception, since the beginning. So I get it. I think it makes sense narratively and everything else. I'm cool with all that. But when I think about him in the MCU specifically, I keep hearing in my head Tony Stark's kind of like snarky, energetic, sarcasm, quippiness and smart aleckiness. Not saying that can't sort of work for a villain, but I don't want to feel like I'm just watching Robert Downey Jr. in a Doom costume. I've told you before, Doom is he's a huge deal. He's one of the most powerful threats in Marvel. I mean, he's a big deal.
Yeah.
And at first, a lot of people were mad when RDJ was announced as the casting because they were like, you're taking one of the most important Marvel characters and turning it into the Robert Downey show instead of it being about Doom. It shouldn't be about the actor. It should be about the character. As time has gone on, I think a lot of people have begun to kind of warm up to it, myself included, but I stand by, I needed to hear something.
Yeah. And
for those of you who've seen it, obviously the mid-credit scene, we get Sue Storm reading to Franklin in their little living room. She gets up, she leaves to go get a different book. You kind of hear like a vague, like a portal noise, very softly in the background. Sound design in this movie was great. And as she walks back in, I don't know if she senses something before she sees it, or if the angle, because they shot it kind of odd, like they're kind of like panning the camera up on her. Anyway, she kind of like activates her powers, like you could see it, the aura of her power around her hand as she walks back into the living room. So it's, she's uneasy. There's something going on. There's a threat. And then, of course, we cut over and Doom, which from everything I've heard, it is confirmed the Russo brothers shot and directed that end credit scene on the set of Doomsday. And that is actually Robert Downey Jr. was not a stand-in. It was actually him in costume on the set, which is cool to know.
Oh, so that was a clip from Doomsday.
Don't know that it was a clip from it, but just like how at the end of Thunderbolts, I told you afterwards that they shot and directed that on their set.
Yeah.
Same with this. So like that way they all kind of have the same look, tone, and vibe of Doomsday. Could turn out that they are clips from Doomsday. Maybe they end up being like deleted scenes that were gonna be in Doomsday to set some stuff up, but end up getting cut because like, well, we've already seen it. And that's why I told you walking out of the theater, like, I would save a little bit of grace for that gripe about the multiverse thing until after we see Doomsday and then revisit it. Because depending on how Doomsday starts, they might have needed to not move them into the 616 until Doomsday or something.
That's fine. I'm just saying don't milk it so heavy.
No, I get it. I still get... I'm not saying like it would erase the gripe. I'm just saying once you've seen it all, you might be like, I don't like that they did it the way they did it, but I get how it... We might see it and it might be a bigger gripe. Like, no, they totally could have just went ahead and did that in that movie. And I'm with you on that. Anyway, all that to say, obviously, we didn't hear a line from Doom. So for me, that automatically deducted a half point from the movie for me. I said I was not going to let it make or break the movie for me, and it didn't. And I stand by that. But you felt a little let down with how they teased the multiverse thing. To me, that is small fries compared to teasing who you're comparing to like our next Thanos or higher level threat even.
Yeah.
And then not giving us not even a word, nothing, just to get a real vibe of how he's going to be. Shoot, we heard Thanos speak like the second time we saw him.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Like, let's get the ball rolling. What are we waiting for? You've got the casting, you've got the suit, you're already shooting the movie. Like, the ball's rolling. There's not going to be any changes. Like, just roll with it. I didn't need to see his face. Mm-hmm. We saw the mask, which was cool. It's cool that it's a practical mask, no nanotech stuff. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's all these people trying to like pull all this like meaning out of the end credit scene. Like, look at how Franklin's looking at him and how he touches his face. Like, he's not scared. It's like he knows him. And I'm like, look, that's all fine and dandy. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care about your implications. Give me some vocal words. Give me something. Anyway, so that was probably my biggest gripe. Other than that, I will say, and I understand why they did it, but I understood why they did it in, what was that last movie? Twilight New Moon. And I didn't like it there, and I don't like it here. Can we stop with the CGI babies? Can we stop acting like movies and shows have never had a baby on set before? Is it the most convenient? No. Do you probably have to shoot things a certain way so that you can, do voice acting?
I don't know. I mean, I understand, but to me, it's, and I don't know if this is why they're doing it, but to me, it's a question of ethics because like movie shoots are like long, strenuous hours and stuff. How long are you taking that baby away from his or her mom so that you can make a movie? Like it's a,
If the baby played like more of a role, like literally you could have just got some B-shot footage from most of what this baby did. And like most shots with the baby was just them laying the baby down somewhere. Hey, we're putting him in the car seat thing on the portal thing. Oh, we're laying him on this bed to do a test of him. And other than that, it was someone holding him. And I'm not saying that, I get your point. I mean, all of that is not the mom holding the baby. I get it. But I'm just saying, most of that, I would have been more okay if I could tell immediately that you were cutting back to the same clip over and over of the same shot of the baby, of a real baby sitting there, I would have been more okay with that than this. If you're going to do a CGI baby, at least do it well. At least do it to where I'm like, is that a CGI baby?
I thought it was pretty good.
It looked ugly. It looked terrible. It looked awful.
I didn't quite feel that strongly about it. I could tell it was CGI, but it was...
To me, that's the problem. I mean, put it like this. The Rock Man looked more realistic than the baby. Like, that's a problem.
I think that's because the Rockman is not a real thing,
right?
So there's an element of you like, this is what this could look like, but a baby is real. You've seen a gajillion babies,
right?
So you can tell the differences easily.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I get your take on it, and maybe other people feel the same way. Maybe that is why they did it. I doubt it, because I've never known Hollywood to be overly ethical. But maybe that is why they did it. I'm just saying, for me, it was distracting. It'd be different if I saw it and then later walked out of it and was like, oh yeah, I mean, I didn't love that, but like, I didn't even think. But like, every time the baby was on screen, I was like, oh my gosh, they couldn't have done something to I don't know, all the edges of, like, it just looked so soft. I mean, it looked fake, and to me, that was distracting. And in a movie where we've got men the size of planets and cities and rock people and dudes who light on fire and stretchy arms and stuff, which I have a gripe on that too. I don't know. It just, to me, the baby shouldn't have been the thing that I was like, that did not look good. Everything else looked great. Like, all the other visual effects looked, I hate it, but fantastic. Look, everyone who's reviewed this movie has done it. I'm doing it too. They look great. But the baby was a hang up for me.
I didn't even think the baby looked that bad.
To me, I've seen worse. Like I said, Twilight, New Moon, or whatever the last Twilight movie was, where they had Renesmee.
So wait a second. You had another gripe about the stretchy man?
Yeah. I think that whenever he's not in his superhero costume, the stretchy arm thing would have looked a lot better and more realistic if, whenever he's like, there was one scene where he's writing on the chalkboard and he's in a lab coat and he stretches out his arm and they stretch the sleeve with it.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm sorry. No, just do the arm. Just let the sleeve stay here and stretch the arm out, and it would have looked a lot better. To me, that does not look good unless he's in his Fantastic Four suit, because that, I know you can explain away of like, well, yeah, I mean, it stretches with him. Okay, I can believe that Reed could design that. Do I believe that Reed Richards designed an entire wardrobe that does that? No. No, I do not. He doesn't even care about that kind of stuff, so I know he wouldn't do it. It's just like when Johnny was in normal clothes, he like would flame on and his clothes wouldn't burn away. I don't know. I have a little bit of an easier time believing that Johnny would prioritize having a normal wardrobe that doesn't burn away. But see, it's stuff like that I think all in all, this movie could have benefited from a little bit of a longer runtime. I didn't need another hour.
Yeah. But
another 15, 20 minutes just to kind of get our feet wet with this new group of characters, new universe, and just kind of understand certain things. Like, they've been the Fantastic Four for a little bit already in this film. So yeah, maybe he does just have clothes that don't burn off, or he does have clothes that stretch. But it'd be nice to know that kind of stuff. Like, I get that a lot of these directors nowadays, they're kind of done doing the whole origin story thing. And I think that that works for certain things, like Spider-Man Homecoming. Yeah, we probably didn't need Peter Parker's origin story. Superman that we just watched, we probably didn't need Superman's origin. There's been so many Spider-Men and so many. But the Fantastic Four, they've only been done, really, this is the third time. Yes, there was like a really, 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 really old movie in like the 70s or something, but I don't count that. This is really the third time they've been done. I think we can all agree it's the best they've ever been done.
Oh, yeah.
And I just think it could have benefited, especially since they're a puzzle piece that is being moved into a much larger picture. A little bit of an origin to kind of like get you familiar with them. I don't need to see them fly into space necessarily. I get that part. We get how they got their powers, and they alluded to it in the movie. So I'm cool with all that. But just things about their day-to-day would have been helpful.
Yeah.
All in all, and I know I'm being a little harsh on the way I'm saying all that, but all in all, I still think I give this movie like an 8.5 out of 10.
It?
Well, it would have been a 9 out of 10 had I gotten a Doom word.
Dude, this is a 10 out of 10 for me.
I can't call it perfect. I can't.
Oh my gosh.
I can't call it perfect.
We're going to disagree more than I thought.
If I call this perfect, then I have to say that it's better than No Way Home or Infinity War or heck, the first Avengers movie. I mean, they're like epic crossover movies. Shoot. Well, nah, I'd say it probably is better than Thunderbolts, but well, I don't know.
I don't think it's better than Thunderbolts.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. And I didn't give Thunderbolts a 10.
Well, I guess I'm thinking about it as for what it is, for what they were trying to do with it. Like, you know, as far as a movie goes, storytelling, the immersive experience. I mean, I was sucked in right away.
Don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed it. I was immersed pretty much the whole movie. Like I said, the baby thing, anything that makes me in the middle of a movie kind of take a step back and go, wow. And like all of a sudden I'm in my theater seat and I'm pondering instead of I'm in the movie watching a movie. That to me is a hang up. And that's going to deduct something. It might not be a whole lot. Like I said, it wasn't movie ruining, but.
So you remember when you called me a snob earlier?
No.
I'm just joking. I know exactly what you're saying. I was just
yeah. No, I mean,
doing my classic "I hate Chris" thing.
Yeah, it's been pretty light today. No. All in all, I feel like I earned it at least this time. I'm kind of being a jerk here, but I felt like we should have I wanted to be a little bit harder on this movie because I enjoyed it so much. If that makes sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Okay, perfect. I enjoyed it a lot, but
I'm the opposite. I want to give it as much grace as possible. Like even the stuff that I had gripes about, it's like, you know what? It's okay. Johnny had a throwaway comedic line, whatever. I mean, this movie was so good.
Well, yeah, because that's a bad critique.
It's like Thunderbolts with the clock. Remember I said I love the movie so much that I'm like, all right, you know, that's a little gripe, but I'll give it to you. The rest of it was so good. Yeah. I want this movie to just be perfect.
Well, so. and maybe I'm not coming off that way, but that is how I feel. I mean, I obviously I loved the movie. 8.5 out of 10 is really, really good. Would be a 9 out of 10, but I set a standard from the beginning and I got to roll with it.
I'll say 9.5 out of 10. And how about that? Because absolute sheer perfection, if that's the standard for 10, then this got just about as close to it. This and Thunderbolts got just about as close to it as you can possibly get.
I'd say that's fair. I mean, I'm not mad at that. Like I said, mine would be a 9 out of 10 other than that one thing. Or it would be a 9 out of 10 if, like, the baby thing didn't bother me so much or the stretchy. Like, there was just certain things that in the movie, like, I think I even made notes about it in the movie because I was like, so let's move on to things we did like.
All right.
I personally, my first note on here, I loved, and I think we talked about this outside of the theater, but I think I said it in our Superman review. I'm going to bring it up here. I love that some of these directors are finally wearing it on their sleeve like a badge of honor. We are finally acknowledging that these are comic book movies. There are sci-fi elements in them. This is not the real world, but with a person in a costume. Thank you, Christopher Nolan. That was great. Let's move on.
Yeah.
It was so cool to see hover cars and little robots, and then in Superman to see a kaiju and people that work at a newspaper flying a spaceship, and no one questioned anything. They were just like, yeah, this is the world we live in. I loved that in this movie.
Yeah, me too.
Loved that. The city looked so... It was old, like in the 60s, but everything was so retro looking and like futuristic, but in the past, I loved it, man. They nailed the set design, the city design, the costumes, the cars. Loved that.
You know the whole New York is its character thing that you were talking about? They nailed that.
I thought the same thing. I was like, here we go. Raimi influence again, just like it's Superman. Very Raimi here.
Yeah.
How the kids, lift the car.
Yeah,
And he acts like he's going to throw it at him. And like, dude, I loved that, man.
It makes you want to live there.
It does. Like it really feels like it's a huge city, but it feels kind of like homey.
Yeah.
Man, yes. I love that both of the big, well, two of the big superhero movies that have come out this year have done that. They've kind of pulled from that Raimi trilogy, Spider-Man, and been like, we gotta bring some life to the city. Mm-hmm. We gotta make it feel like these people aren't just ants on the ground, and they did a great job.
Oh yeah.
So I loved that. You got anything specific
on that?
Well, no, just any other like thing that you were like,
oh,
I loved that.
I mean, I agree with that for one. Specifics. It's like, this would be a really long podcast if I talked about everything I specifically liked.
Right. I'm just talking about highlights.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Sue Storm in this movie is my favorite female superhero I have ever seen in a movie.
I'd have to agree.
I just adore her. Like, she is my... That's...
I'm telling you,
the best way I have ever seen a female superhero portrayed.
I thought I was the only one who felt this way until I saw someone else post it on Twitter, and I was like, "Oh, cool! That line hit the same for someone else that they went out and posted about it." When they're leaving Galactus's thing and they're being chased by the Silver Surfer. First of all, oh my gosh, when they start to go away and before they hit light speed, the Silver Surfer like almost like just touches her belly, and then they zoom. That was epic.
Yeah,
like my heart was. I was like, go,
dude. My heart was doing that this whole movie. In superhero movies never do that.
It was very fast paced.
Yeah,
very fast. But when they're going and they find out, oh crap, she can follow us even at light speed. And Sue is literally having contractions floating in 0G, like, and then she just looks at Johnny. She goes, "Johnny, kill her."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Wait, really?" And she's like, "Do you want her to take your nephew?" And he goes, "Oh, fine." And like, he's all like bummed about it because he thinks the girl's cute or interesting or whatever. And like that, the way she said that, I was like, man, that felt real. Like that felt really real. She's like, I don't care about anything else right now. Kill her. Like, you don't hear people say that in comic book movies.
I know.
Ever.
And this was, just to your last point, this was even more comic booky than other movies.
Yeah, the fact that they were warping through, he was trying to shoot her with a laser and it was bending because they were in a wormhole, and they went to Galactus and he was in a ship, but he was freaking huge and his eyes glue purple.
Oh, dude, another thing. It's going to be hard to just stick on one topic because
as you
talk,
here we go. We're in the gush part. We're just gonna go everywhere.
Galactus was terrifying.
Very, very, very.
I felt chills like when he showed up, and I was like, movies don't usually do this to me.
Yeah,
and I was so immersed in this movie though, and I thought this huge freak, and then he's going after the baby. Like that's when my heart was like, oh, because the way they set it up. Dude,
I'm just going to go ahead and tell anyone listening to this at this point, if you have a child or children, this movie is going to resonate with you.
Oh, yeah.
Because Daniel and I both, when we left, were like, I think that really hit me harder because I'm a parent now.
A new parent specifically.
And a new parent at that. Yeah. Like, we both have kids under the age of 5. Like, mine is still essentially a little baby.
Under 2.
Under 2, okay. And you're watching this family fight solely for a baby's life. Oh my gosh, another thing. When they get back and they have to do the press conference.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. And it was so very Reed to just be honest and be like, he asked too high a price, and they were like, "What do you want?" And he was like, he wanted our son. I thought for a second that they were going to do like the movie thing and have the crowd kind of like hush and like ponder, which in my head I would have been like, come on, that's not realistic. Like, people would be pissed. Like, they'd be like, and they did. They got mad. They're like, he just wanted your son to save all of us. Like, and they got mad and they started pushing even harder. Like, are we safe? Are we safe? Like, and I was like, oh my gosh. They are really nailing like human nature here.
Yeah.
Like mob mentality of, dude, I don't care about your kid. What about me and my whole family and all these people and their families and our friends and the whole world? And Reed talks about later when they're sitting at the little dining table having coffee, like, their logistical thinking is ethical because they don't have a different solution. And it's one person for a billion people and blah, 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 blah. He's like, the math works out.
It's not ethical.
Well,
I know that he said that.
He said that. And to be fair, I get what he means. Like, I'm with Sue. Bump all that noise.
Yeah.
I get it. But I'm just saying, I get where he's, like, if you're on the other side of that and it's me and my whole family and everyone I've ever known and loved and cared about versus one person, it is hard. It is hard to take yourself out of your own shoes and be like...
Well, you nailed it when you said human nature.
Yeah.
Because our gut reaction is to be like, what about my child?
To survive.
You know? Yeah. I mean, it's other people's children, too. Like, it's not just... So, I think it's human nature. That doesn't necessarily mean it's ethical, because I think human nature leans toward being unethical. But, yeah, that would be what people would do. It's like, well, I got to protect my children. So, you know...
You know, that was really heavy. There was a lot of really... By the way, on that note, when they came back and they landed and everyone's like going crazy and Sue had just had a baby in space and they're walking out of the ship and Reed's like, hey, we need... And the lady, they're like press person, like cut him off. Is like, we need you to make a statement, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dang, man. Like, I think that's another thing this movie did a good job of touching on is like the price of notoriety. The price of fame, the price of... They're the only heroes in that universe. There's no Avengers. There's no Spidey. There's no X-Men. Like, it's just them. So they did a good job of, like, hitting on... Yeah, they're kind of celebrities, and that's all fun and games when it's fun. But then your wife has a baby in space, and you just landed, and you almost lost her and the baby, and... You know, there's this giant, literally larger-than-life threat out there on his way to destroy your planet, and you just need something for your wife to make her comfortable, and you have to go talk to the public right now. Mm-hmm. You know, that in itself, that little moment, they did a really good job at little moments, just really resonated with me, and it was so good because it was subtle. I don't even think a lot of people probably realized that he went to speak and she cut him off, and you knew he was asking for something like it just... Yeah. That kind of writing you don't see it all the time anymore.
I agree. And then Sue's response to it all when she takes the child out and she's like, and she says, I will not sacrifice my child for this world, but I will not sacrifice this world for my child. What a great speech. Yeah. I mean, oh my gosh.
Complete baloney, but you know.
What do you mean?
I mean, you kind of... They didn't know they were going to beat him.
I don't think that's what she was saying. I think she was saying there is another solution and we will find it. She was basically saying that's where I am. We're going to figure out a way.
And they did.
Yeah, but they did. But that's that's the... I think part of the moral of the story is you don't just snap react when you're pressed with a difficult situation. Yeah. There's almost always a better way out if you do the right thing.
Yeah, they could have just tried to talk with him. Hug it out.
That's obviously not the solution. But you know what I'm getting.
No, I know what you mean. That was obviously it was going to work out the way it did. It was a happy ending, but like I was like, come on, you're lying. Y'all all just sat around and talked about how y'all can't think of another way to do it.
You're not lying. It was a turning point. It was saying this is what we've determined. She's saying, you know, she's not telling them we found a different way. She said we don't have another way right now, but we're gonna figure it out together as a family. That's what she said. We're gonna do this. That's what we're gonna do. We'll find a way to fix this.
So she wasn't lying. World coming together to build portals in like a one world government.
That's totally not the same thing as a one world government.
It was for a little while.
No, it wasn't. It was just saying if every country builds a portal, we can get the whole world to safety. For this threat that threatens the entire world.
That was just me poking at you.
Well, it worked.
That was me knowing if I worded it one way and then veered left, it would make you go like, what? Like, yeah, I like that. No, I hated that. Not hated it, but I hate that you brought that up. Did we talk about No, we didn't, because I purposely said, I asked you if you saw the Doctor Doom reference at the beginning. And
no,
you
I
said
didn't.
no. I said, okay, cool, I'm going to save that, and I was going to look for other ones. I don't know that I found any other ones. Actually, I say that, as far as I know, I didn't. Like, it's not like I'm burying the lead there. In the beginning, when Sue is giving one of the press conferences to, like, the whole world, all the country, like, leaders are sitting around, when it's panning through, the camera lands on an empty chair, and the nameplate in front of it is Latveria, which is his country.
Oh, I didn't know that was his country.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And he just wasn't there.
Now, I don't know if I think in the comics, not only is he from there, but then later when he becomes, like, Doom, like, that is his country. Like, he runs it.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
So, is this Doom from this universe?
From what I've understood, yes. Yes.
Interesting.
The Doom that is going to be the Doom we follow for Doomsday and Secret Wars and all that, from what I've understood, yes, he is the 828. Is it 828?
828.
The 828 Doctor Doom. That's
Interesting.
what I've gathered. So I'll also throw out there, as far as a highlight, their team dynamic, like the four of them, so good. So good. Love when they're on the way to meet Galactus for the first time, and they're, like, floating around that panel in the middle, and Reed is trying to, like, kind of break down for them, like, what he's like, we're just going to negotiate, and, like, Johnny and Ben are like, come on, man, like, I want to punch something, like, you know, they want to fight, and then Ben is like, so what are we up against here, Reed? And he starts telling them, like, I don't know if could be a such and such or what, and then he says something about like a space dragon, and the camera doesn't even cut. It stays on Reed, but in the background you hear Johnny go, cool. Like, like stuff like that. Again, it made it feel so real. It made it feel like a real team of four people who love each other and have been around each other for years. And I was, every single time that I thought they were going to go down a certain road with one of the characters, they subverted it in the perfect way. I thought we were going to get the classic, like, Ben, woe is me, I'm made of rock, I'm not pretty, no one likes me thing. Didn't do it.
Yeah.
He was quite literally, no pun intended, the rock for the group. Like, he kept everyone calm and level. Johnny being like an idiot, empty brain, pretty boy, playboy kind of thing. No, he was actually very valuable in helping them figure out what to do. He set up the thing to actually turn Silver Surfer to their side.
Yeah.
Like, he convinced her. Like, they made him a valuable asset to the team. Reed, I'm not going to lie to you, and I haven't talked to you about this on purpose. Going into this, did you know anything about Pedro Pascal?
I mean, other than I've seen him in a few things.
But, like, outside of on a show?
No.
So, first of all, I was not a fan of this casting from the beginning. Not only am I kind of tired of seeing him in everything, but also I was a huge proponent that I wanted John Krasinski from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I was mad that they threw us a bone in Multiverse of Madness and then killed him off, and then we're like, oh, hope you're happy you got to see him. No, I'm more mad because that means you're not going to put him in the one I want him to be in, the main one. So I was, for multiple reasons, just kind of like not thrilled about Pedro being Reed. Then, going into it, like when they officially announced them at the Comic-Con 2-ish years ago, maybe 3, and they brought them up on stage, all of a sudden this whole thing started going around about him because there was some weird behavior on stage where, I forget her name.
Vanessa Kirby?
Vanessa Kirby.
Oh, yeah, when he's anxious.
He's like rubbing her arm and like pulling her hand to like hold her hand on stage, and I'm like... Yeah. And then, all that stuff came, like, people were like, that's really weird. And then it came out like, oh, well, he has anxiety.
It's still weird, though.
And like, what was I going to say? It was something about, anyway. Bottom line, it's really weird. And he's done it a lot since then. Mm-hmm. It's almost like he has done it more ever since it, like, became a thing. When they were on one of the red carpets for this movie, I don't know if you know this, she's pregnant. Like, in real life, she's pregnant. And, like, they were both talking to one of the reporters, and she goes to, like, walk away, and he grabs her by the belly and, like, is, like, trying to, like, talk to her more before she leaves.
Wow.
And then like kisses her. Like if it wasn't fully on the lips, it was very close.
Wow.
And I'm like, this is a pregnant woman that you're not acting with right now. Like you're in the real world right now. Like,
yeah.
What are you doing? You can't just say I have anxiety and then grope women and kiss women. Like, and don't get me wrong. From what I've seen in like other clips, there's like things of them in interviews, and they're sitting on a couch and she's like rubbing her nails on his neck and stuff like that, like rubbing his neck. And so, I mean, I'm not saying that she's uncomfortable with it. I'm not saying that she does or doesn't like it. I don't know. As far as I know, she hasn't come out and made a statement. That's not the point, though. But that's not the. My whole thing is, I see everyone online talking about how come he never gets anxious when he's next to men.
Yeah, exactly.
How come he never gets anxious and like grabs Ben Bacharach or whatever his name's hand, who plays Ben, or the guy who plays Johnny? How come he's never standing next to them and grabs one of them and hugs on them or something, holds them from behind and just like cuddle me?
Yeah,
he never does that. It's always Vanessa. And that's the other thing I was going to say. That's what I forgot. How are you anxious? You're an actor. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying actors and performers and stuff can't be anxious. I remember a thing where Michael Jackson used to say he would get so nervous he'd be sick before every show, even like up to the pinnacle of his fame. Yeah. He was terrified, but he only went out and performed because he knew people wanted to see him. And I believe that. But he didn't grope people about it. Like, I mean,
well, not
that's come anxiety. That's come out as untrue, but
well,
I don't think he did that. That there's a lot behind that, but that's a whole rabbit hole. Yeah. Bottom line,
not part of this podcast.
Yeah, no, that's just our other podcast that y'all should go check out.
It's called This Doesn't Exist.
I mean, a little on the nose, but I don't know. To me, it makes no sense. You're going to sit here and tell me you're anxious. If you're that anxious to where you're displaying it in that way, you cannot convince me he could perform on any sound stage or regular stage or anything else. I'm sorry. It's a weird thing, like a weird veil for you to hide behind.
Anxiety is like a buzzword now. It's like a
lot of those
people throw it around. I mean, I'm not saying anxiety doesn't exist. I have anxiety.
I mean, me too.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes. For those of you who are just listening, don't watch.
Man, that was the perfect time to get traffic on the YouTube channel. You guys got to see what Chris just did to me.
Well, now that we haven't told them, they're going to come look and see. Like, I got to figure this. They're going to be so disappointed. Like, that's the most underwhelming. That's more underwhelming than the Doctor Doom reveal in Fantastic Four.
And they're ugly. Yeah, they really should have just stuck to the audio.
Speak for myself. You look great.
Who's Mice Elf?
He's the multiverse version of Buddy. Will Ferrell's buddy.
Oh my God. You're right. I hate the multiverse too.
Yeah. I win. I don't even remember what we were. Oh yeah. Well, anxiety is kind of a buzzword, and like, sometimes anxiety just means you're an adult. Sometimes it just means like, sometimes life is hard, and I don't know how I'm going to get through this.
Yeah.
It doesn't give you an excuse to grope women or anyone for that matter. Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Are you bringing this up because you led into this by saying that you hated the casting? So
all that to say, I mean, since we were talking about team dynamic and stuff, I will say this: he was the one I was the most hung up about because of how he was behaving out in public, and then also the fact that I wasn't thrilled about his name being the choice anyway. And even I left the movie being like, he did a good job. He was a good Reed. They captured a lot of... Reed is complicated. Okay, if you read the comics, if you know anything about his history... wow.
Reed.
If you Richards the comics... they
just don't use the short version of that.
He's a very complicated, complex character. He cares, admittedly too much, probably to the point where it's a fault. And that was displayed well. And there's the scene in this movie where they run out on the balcony and they hear a bunch of sirens, and they're like, "Oh, is it go time?" And he goes, "No, this is me." And he said, "I've been monitoring the puppet master and the so and so," and he names off all these like little Fantastic Four villains from the old comics, and all the police are like going out to stop them right then and there. And it's him trying to like baby-proof the city. And that's really how Reed is. Like, they really did a good job of depicting how he really feels like the weight of the world is on his shoulders. He says multiple times in there how no one else could do this except me. And that's really how he feels. And to be fair, 99% of the time he's right. He's one of, if not the smartest character in Marvel Comics. For my money, he is.
What about Brainiac?
Brainiac's DC.
Oh, that's DC?
Yeah.
Oh. The only reason I even brought that up was because I saw this short on YouTube of a guy interviewing like this really big comic book.
Yeah.
Have you seen that before?
And then he's like, oh, you were staying terrestrial.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that guy knew his stuff.
Yeah.
That guy knew his stuff. And like you saw, he put Reed before ever. Like, to me, I'd say Reed probably is. He's insanely smart. That being the case, They did a good job depicting how he really does feel the weight of the world on his shoulders. He really does feel like he's the only one who can save the city and the world and the universe. But I guess he won't because they're coming to the 616. So I don't know how that's going to go. But yeah, in the end, I was like, he did a good read.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. But what you just said. Like, why would they be coming to the 616? I didn't even consider that as a question. I had just... See, I thought that their universe was going to get destroyed in this movie. And that was going to lead them to go retreat to another universe. And that's what we saw in the Thunderbolts end credit scene. But that didn't happen. And I didn't stop to think, well, then why are they going to the 616? I wonder if they're going there because they think the variant of Doom that was Iron Man could be the way to stop Doom, and they don't know that he's dead.
It's possible. My running theory right now is that the universes are colliding like how they do in the comics for Secret Wars, and there's an incursion.
Yeah.
And that since they're the only heroes in their universe, they go out on their ship to go check it out and get sucked into the 616 universe.
That makes sense. That makes way more sense.
It's already been confirmed that at the end of the Marvels, which I know you haven't seen, there's an end credit, or I don't know if it's even, well, it's kind of both. It's the end of the movie, and then they revisit it in the end credit scene because they don't really resolve it in the movie. But Monica Rambeau goes out into space to close a void that had occurred from the villain doing what the villain was doing, and the only way she could close it was by going up to it so close that it put her on the other side of it when it closed. And you really don't know what that means in the context of the film till you see the end credit scene and realize she is now in the X-Men universe, which is why in Doomsday, all the old X-Men are coming back because we'll probably pick up with her, and that'll be one of the universes we go through as Doom does whatever the heck Doom is doing in that movie.
This is kind of already leading into one of the things I wanted to talk to you about that I was bringing up.
Okay.
But are we finished gushing? Because
I mean, yeah, I think for the most part, we both kind of already given our score 8.5, 9.
Yeah.
Or 9.5, you said.
9.5.
So 8.5, 9.5. Very, very great movie. 2 thumbs up. Everyone go check it out. Trying to think. I mean, that was pretty much all my highlight points. Like I said, the main thing that they needed to get right, they got right, and that is the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
They nailed them, and this is the second time this year I've walked out of a Marvel movie going, I need to see more of that group immediately.
Yeah.
Thunderbolts did the same. I was like, I need more of that. I need more of that group of people.
I'm excited to see the Fantastic Four and the Thunderbolts in Doomsday.
Oh my gosh.
It's going to be great. Dude,
Red Guardian talking to the Thing is going to be hilarious.
The other thing too, that I'll like, we didn't spend as much time talking about what we loved about this movie as we did with what?
I meant to bring my popcorn bucket and cup to put for set decor.
No one cares. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
That was really mean of me. There I go again.
I'm going to start killing again.
Every time I feel an urge to diss you, I'm just going to say nice things about you.
Well, now that I know that, it's just gonna be like, what were you gonna say? What do you mean by that? What are you actually saying?
Oh, the look on your face when you said that was really funny. That's so true. I didn't think about that. Now every time I compliment you, you're going to be wondering
what I do.
Yeah.
I didn't even say anything.
Oh, man. Anyways, to finish off our Gush session, we spent more time in Superman talking about what we loved about it. There's actually way more about this film that both of us loved, but it's so much that we just can't talk. It's just, you just got to go see it. It was a borderline masterpiece of a superhero movie.
I agree. Well, and the thing of it too, when I walked out of Superman, I had like a certain hype level about it, and the more I sat with it that week leading into us recording, it really dwindled down.
Yeah.
And for this one, this is, again, other than Thunderbolts, one of the first times where I've been like, I kind of want to go see that a third time.
Yeah.
Like, I really enjoyed it. I cannot wait to have it in my own hands. I'm going to be, this and Thunderbolts are both ones I'm going to be getting physical copies of to have in my collection. Like, I really, really, really enjoyed them.
They were great.
So I guess to kind of round it out, I mean, we've done our scores and everything, so everyone knows how we feel about that. I'm going to say one more thing. This isn't exactly a gripe, but can we stop with the pointless end credit scenes?
Oh, yeah.
Can we stop? I'd rather have none or one meaningful one than have two and one of them be a waste of my time. Or in the Superman movie case, two of them be a waste of my time.
Yeah.
Like, I understand it's kind of become like an expectation, especially in the comic book movie world. Iron Man kind of set everyone up for that. I get it. But look, it's just not worth it. Like, it's just not worth it. You're going to get to the point where people aren't even sticking around for them because they're stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you know, if you're not going to set up something or resolve something that maybe you kind of left dangling, like even if it's something maybe a little like more on the funny side or something, but it's like a legit thing that you left dangling in the movie on purpose, knowing people would forget so you could wrap it up, and okay, that's fine. Like that's what Deadpool and Wolverine did. Have you seen that?
No, I tried to watch it, and it just... Deadpool has just a little too much language for me.
Well, yeah, it's English.
Oh, my gosh. I take it back. I'm just going to insult you.
No, he in the movie, there's a point where Chris Evans shows up. You think it's Captain America. It ends up being the Human Torch from that Fantastic Four universe. And they all get captured by the bad lady's henchmen. They go to the thing where she's at, and Deadpool is like telling her how, oh yeah, he said you were this, that, and that, like all these terrible, horrible things. So she just goes like, and like rips off all his skin and tissue, and just like a pile of blood and bones collapse on the ground of Chris Evans' Human Torch. And Wolverine's like, what'd you do that for? You got him killed, you idiot. Like, and you're, as the viewer, you're sitting there like, what? He said it, not me. Yeah. But you never heard any of that. And then when they go back in the post-credit scene, he goes, let's check the replay, shall we? And it shows them traveling after they got captured, and there's like a little camera in the thing, and it shows Chris Evans saying all of that stuff about her actually. And then at the end of it, he goes, and you can quote me. And Deadpool goes, okay, and looks up at the camera like, I'm going to. So that was funny. Like, a little stupid, but it was at least something relevant to the movie.
Yeah.
This one, obviously you get the Doom one, which for me was still a little bit of a disappointment because of what it was. Or wasn't, I should say. And then the second one is just a clip of like an old like 60s or 70s animated cartoon of the Fantastic Four. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah,
like,
I'm with you.
And then Superman was just him sitting on the moon with Krypto, boring, which also didn't make sense. Now that I'm thinking about it, didn't even make sense. Because Krypto, at the end of the movie, Supergirl comes and takes the dog.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, I didn't even think about that. And then the other one was just him looking at a building, and Mr. Terrific comes up, and he's like, what? And he's like, oh, no, it's a little off. He's like, what? You want me to rip the world back together just so I can put them back perfectly even? He's like, no, I'm not saying that. And then he just, man, you're something else, and walks away, and Superman's like, golly gee, I can be such a jerk, or something like that, like some, PG phrase, like some PG expletive, and then I can be such a jerk sometimes. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Pointless.
Yeah.
I did like Thunderbolts, though. That one was funny.
Yeah.
Red Guardian in the cereal aisle. That was funny.
Yeah.
And it kind of went back to something in the movie. But anyway,
because he wanted that kind of...
He wanted that moment, and it amounted to nothing, because that lady, like, put it in her thing, and then she, like, went to the end of the aisle and, like, threw it in the side bin and walked away. But yeah, no, all in all, I'm just saying I'm over the pointless end credit. Like, if you're gonna give them to us. Let it be something special. Don't give me garbage. I don't know how you feel about that.
Oh, I'm totally with you. Yeah, I don't like sitting there through the whole credits for that.
Yeah,
I want it to be worth it. Yeah,
but anyway, any other particulars?
And it's particularly with this movie because of all the multiverse setup. Because I was still holding on to hope for that last one. It could have been just a short little clip. It did not have to be that much.
Yeah, but
just if they had just done a little bit more with the multiverse that they milked so heavily, like you could just show, I don't know, like you're seeing a clip of the Fantastic Four and you just see a spider web come in or something. Yeah. Like,
well, and I'm about to make you really mad. Imagine if we would have gotten another check-in with the Thunderbolts.
Yeah. That's not making me mad. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
I'm saying make you mad isn't like you're gonna be like, yeah, what the heck, man? Like, we could have gotten that. Like, imagine if we would have gotten like another just like 15 to 30 seconds of like hearing them talk, like maybe a follow-up to the clip from their end credits of the ship landing, and like just hearing them talk over footage of the ship like coming down or something. Yeah. Like just a little more of that.
Yeah.
Would have been better than the cartoon thing.
Or you could have shown them in the spaceship, like shown it from their vantage point, and they could be talking and be like, "Are you sure about this?" It's like, they don't even have to mention they're going to a different Earth, and then you just see like a camera showing the New York City with the Thunderbolts in it or something. I don't know, like
with the Avengers Tower or whatever, since that's not in their universe.
Yeah.
I will tell you though, there's probably maybe a reason they didn't do that. There's a huge thing going around right now that. Actually, the end credit scene for Fantastic Four kind of doesn't quell it. Like, I mean, it actually kind of lends some reliability to it. That is not the Fantastic Four in that ship. It's Doom.
Oh, boy.
Which would actually make sense as to why he shows up at their building in the post-credit scene. Maybe he shows up there to take their ship and go.
With Franklin.
Yeah, well, maybe. Maybe Franklin's how he gets to the universe.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that. Dang.
Yeah. So, there's a lot, man. There's a lot coming up.
But you see, that's the...
Okay, now I made you mad.
Yeah, now you made me mad. Because that's the type of stuff I'm talking about. All these teasing. It's like, that's what they should milk. They give us more suggestions that could be the case. Or might be the case. It doesn't have to be big. But don't milk all the multiverse. We know there's a multiverse now. I mean, you did it in No Way Home in the biggest way possible.
And Loki.
And
Doctor Strange, too.
It's like, all right.
And Spider-Man.
But you keep...
Oh, wait, you already said that.
But, like, I've said my piece about
this.
No,
yeah, I mean, you're right. You're 100% right. I agree with you. But
we're getting so animated. The movie was so good. I'm not trying
It was.
It was just... so good.
the more I sit with it, I might would bump mine up to even a 9. The more I'm thinking about it, like I think just missing 1 point is fair. So I think I'm gonna bump mine up to a 9.
How about this? If the MCU had not existed up to this point, and this was just its own movie that had just come out, and you saw it with no expectations other than maybe comic books and stuff, it would probably be a 10 for you, right?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that would... It's hard for me to imagine that, obviously. I mean...
Yeah.
But I would think it would still be a really high, like a 9 or 10.
Like, your biggest gripe, it sounds like, was the Doom thing, that they didn't reveal enough with it.
Yeah, that's always going to bother me. Until I see him full on, that's going to bother me.
If you didn't have those expectations, but you saw that end credit scene with Doom, and you didn't have any concept of the MCU, that would have been satisfying.
It's a fair point. And at that point, the quipping wouldn't have bothered me because I wouldn't have seen 30 other movies of it and TV shows. The CGI would have actually probably blown me away because I haven't seen better versions of comic book stuff done.
Yeah.
So, yeah, honestly, it'd probably be a 10 out of 10 had I not had decades or a decade and a half of Marvel stuff.
That's what I'm saying is like for what this movie was, for a Fantastic Four movie, just forget the MCU for a second. It was great. Yeah. Hard to get any better than that.
I agree. And like I said, I'm excited to see more of them. So yeah, I mean that's all I got on that. If you ready to wrap that up?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess that's all for this one. We appreciate you guys listening, tuning in.
Well, no. We got 20 minutes left.
Oh, is there more you wanted to?
Yeah, I thought you were saying wrap up that segment.
Oh, yeah. No, I just meant like that's like I told you. I once the review was over, that's why I was trying to throw some stuff in it.
No. Say I got stuff I want to talk about.
Oh, I thought we had already hit on it.
No. I haven't even told you the stuff that I from the beginning that I wanted to.
Give it to me. Let's go.
All right. Cool. I was like, wow, you're ending the whole episode? We're like, we got 20 minutes to kill. Anyways, so I've been doing some like slight, very light research into Secret Wars and stuff since, this has been coming up. You got me back into the MCU, and I've been looking up some stuff, and it didn't really shock me, but it was still kind of like, oh, that's interesting to find out that Thanos comes into Battle World at some point in Secret Wars. And like Doom is like more powerful than him because of the it's a different kind of power. Like if it was just brute force, Thanos with the gauntlet might be able to win.
Yeah.
But because Doom is so like he's just the stuff he has access to.
I think he's God Emperor Doom at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a pretty interesting character. Well, there's battles, obviously he brings people to Battle World to fight to the death
for their realities, their universes.
Yeah. Crazy. This could be yet again, and I'm a little bit upset that I've even had this thought because I feel like it's just going to set me up for another letdown.
Mm-hmm.
They yet again have opened the door for themselves to redeem the way that they've crapped over heroes like Thor and the Hulk in this, because you can bring, even if Thor dies, you can bring him back. You can redo the stuff that you did badly in the past, and you can give Hulk and Thanos a rematch again on Battle World if you bring Thanos back with this way.
That's a good point.
And do the thing that you should have done in Endgame. Everything that you wanted to see in Endgame in that last battle scene can be done now in Battle World.
That's true.
And done in a satisfying way. Imagine if Doom gets Thanos back and Doom's more powerful than Thanos, so Thanos isn't like as much of a threat anymore. But then he's facing off against Hulk, and Hulk gets his rematch, and maybe something in Spider-Man Brand New Day like gives Hulk more motivation or something. And he's like Professor Hulk, so he's got the brains and the muscle and stuff. Or maybe he's Grey Hulk, I don't know. But anyway, and then the Hulk actually beats Thanos. Like that would be a huge subversion, in that whole thing. I don't know. I just thought I thought there's so many things that they could do. Like what were other things that you wanted to see in Endgame? Because I know you've talked about how they should have spent more time on the battle rather than the time heist.
Yeah.
What were some things in the battle you were hoping to see?
I can't say like anything specific at this point. I mean, it's been years.
You wanted the Hulk and Thanos rematch.
I would have loved that. I really, another thing I would have loved to see is just the OG Avengers team that was left, because I know Black Widow died in the movie, but the OG Avengers that were left be like, there was some concept art floating around of them grouping up in that battle to go fight Thanos and be like the group that like takes him down. And I just felt like that would have been really poetic. So something like that, but I mean, at this point, doing that in Secret Wars would kind of just be, especially with now RDJ being Doom and everything, it wouldn't be the same. But like, there are plenty of things.
You wanted to see more of Winter Soldier.
little more of him. You get like a quick shot of him shooting a gun in that final battle. Not great. But I think now that he's in Thunderbolts and like that kind of blew up and has at least a cult following, I don't know why Marvel's viewing it as a flop, but if you want to call it like the world's largest cult following, then we will. I think we'll see more of him, not only in Doomsday, but also Secret Wars and in whatever big major battles happen. But like, I'll tell you, man, there's a lot of things I'd like to see in that. I first of all, let's start with, as far as if we're doing the universes fighting, I want to see the old Fantastic Four. I want to see the Fant Four Stick group. I want to see both of them. I want to see, what's his name? Nick Cage's Ghost Rider. I want to see Ben Affleck's Daredevil. I want to bring them all in. Bring them all in.
Yeah.
This is essentially a giant reset.
Yeah.
Kevin Feige's already confirmed this will reset the MCU. Like even the like Iron Man, Cap, like it's all done. We're getting reboots eventually if they bring them back in, and when they bring them back in, it'll be all new casting. We're starting over. And it might be years before we see a lot of those characters ever again. We might not see them in our lifetime again. I don't know. Some people would argue that's a good thing. Some people bad. But at the end of the day, I just don't know. Regardless, there's a lot that I think they could do as far as satisfying fan service for Secret Wars if they're clashing universes. Like, I definitely bring Andrew and Toby back in.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard this thrown around time and time again, rumor-wise. I'm not sure how true it is, but I've heard that, like, Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman would be, like, kind of leaders of teams or of a team or something. Absolutely need some interact. They're two of the oldest still participating, like, Marvel actors.
Yeah.
Need that. I need that. I mean, there's just a lot. I still want to see Tom Cruise as an Iron Man variant.
Yeah.
I still, I could go on and on. There's a bajillion things. Spider-Man getting the symbiote. If they manage to pull it off where he gets it during Secret Wars, like in the comics, how he got it during Secret Wars, and they can recreate the comic cover of him standing in the middle of the battlefield, like going like this as it's like covering him up. That might be 10 out of 10 right there. Just the movie gets a 10 just for that. Like, because
Eddie Brock versus Tom Hardy's Venom. Not Eddie. Eddie Brock is the character in both cases. Sorry.
Topher Grace's Venom. Oh man, so that's what I'm saying, dude. They could do anything.
Mm-hmm.
They could do. The only thing that's going to disappoint me is if I feel like they went light on it. Like Doctor Strange 2 was literally called the Multiverse of Madness, and I feel like they barely touched on that. Like you got to take full advantage while you have this set up. This is the first and probably only time in cinematic history that a universe will have been successful this long and long enough to have built up this cast of characters, this group, to do this at the level that you have the opportunity to do it. And that's why I've told you, I think Secret Wars at minimum, needs to be 2 movies by itself.
Oh, yeah.
At minimum. Because how in Endgame, the final battle is like the last 40-ish, 45 minutes, supposedly, of that movie. And it didn't do all what I thought it should have done. The Secret Wars one, if it's not 2.5 hours, you messed up. I'm sorry, you messed up. Like, do all your story, all your setup, do all that in Doomsday and like Secret Wars Part 1, and then give me all the Battle World in Part 2. I want it to be like a war movie, but with all the comic book characters I've been knowing since '99.
Yeah.
Give me that for 2.5 hours. I mean, there'll still obviously be some story in it. War movies have story. You could still do plot in that, but like you will have ample time to play with to give every matchup we've wanted to see, recreate all the comic book covers, have different team ups, betrayals, secret double agent stuff going on. Give me Hydra Cap. Go crazy. Give it all. I want it all.
Yeah.
Leave nothing on the table, because after this, you have said yourself, that's it. It's a reboot. It's done. A whole new thing going forward. So, while we have this last opportunity, I just don't want anything left on the table. That's my only hope for Doomsday and Secret Wars.
I'm with you. I think they really need to go in, and I just want so badly, because Hulk has not had. There's been just a few times where Hulk has had moments where he really shown and pretty much it was just Avengers 1 when he finally at the end was killing all the aliens. It was that was yeah, get it, Hulk.
And I mean, of course, Avengers 2, he does his thing, but it's not even as highlighted.
Yeah, it's not.
He's just there helping.
Yeah, it's not even that impressive or anything. And then in Infinity War, he got his butt kicked and then didn't even come out. And then in Endgame, he didn't fight at all. I mean, he brought everyone back, and he hasn't had any of his standalone movies. And I don't even know if Hulk has shown up in any other movies.
Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, yeah.
And he was in Iron Man 3 in the post-credit scene. You find out that he's the one who Tony Stark was telling his story to.
Yeah.
And Bruce is like, I'm not that kind of doctor.
Yeah. Well, that's...
Oh, and
that's
he shows
Bruce.
up in Shang-Chi as Bruce.
Yeah, but that's Bruce.
Well, I'm just
talking
saying
about
in
Hulk.
general, the character. I mean...
Yeah, that's fair, but I'm talking about Hulk. We haven't seen... And in Brave New World, they had another opportunity to have Hulk, show up.
Yeah,
So
a really good one.
It
made a lot of sense.
Yeah, I know. And so I want to see Hulk, especially as Professor Hulk. I want to see him shine. I want to see that. And the redemption with Thanos, defeating Thanos on Battleworld would be epic. Yeah. So, there's that, and then I was going to ask you something because you talked about Tom Cruise as an Iron Man variant. So does that mean, because if Iron Man in the 616 was a Doom variant all along, does that mean that Iron Man in other universes are something totally separate from him?
That's a good question.
Iron Man variants would be variants of a different Iron Man.
That's a good point. I don't know. Here's the thing: when you kind of, you're a writer, so I'm assuming you know the term pants. When you pants something, when you kind of pants something that's decades long, and you never quite. I mean, you got contracts to deal with, and I mean, sadly, some people pass away, like Chadwick Boseman. Things that are completely out of your control happen throughout the whole course of building this universe. There's going to end up being some inevitable, kind of plot holey kind of things that's if people really wanted to nitpick and be well, wait a minute, if this is this, then this, that kind of thing.
That's not what I'm trying to do.
No. I know. What I'm saying is, if they did this, if we find out in the movie that RDJ was actually always meant to be Doom, so in all the other universes, he's a Doom variant, but in the 616, he became Iron Man just through chance. Kind of what we've talked about in a previous episode, that being the rumor of what's going to happen, then, yeah, it kind of would open the door to be well, now if you show any Iron Man variants in Battleworld, it would be well, wait, does that mean in all the other universes, that's Iron Man? Tom Cruise is Iron Man in all the other universes kind of thing? It kind of
be really cool.
It opens the door for that, but who knows? Who knows?
I don't think that would be a plot hole or a nitpick. I think that would be cool. That'd be a real big subversion.
Well,
then who is Tom Cruise in the 616? That's because he was supposed to be Iron Man.
That's a fair point.
But RDJ...
He could be Norman Osborn.
There you go. Yeah, that would actually be kind of cool. That would actually be really cool. I don't know if I've ever seen Tom Cruise play a... Oh, no. I did see him play a villain. Have you seen the movie Collateral?
Mm-mm.
Dude, that movie was a huge shock on how good it was. You know what it's about?
I don't think.
Jamie Foxx is this taxi cab driver, and then Tom Cruise, he's got white hair in it. It's really weird. It was in the 2000s, so Tom Cruise was young here, but Tom Cruise gets in the cab and he gets the guy to drive him around so he can assassinate people. He's this murder dude, and he's a villain. It's the only time I've ever seen Tom Cruise as a villain, though.
I'm sure his agent makes sure he mostly plays protagonist roles.
Maybe so, but dude, having him as a comic book villain, that would be wild.
It'd be cool. I don't think he'd do it because from what I've understood about Tom Cruise, the most I can ever hope for from him in the MCU is a cameo. Because from what I've heard about him and how he likes to do movies, which, I mean, he's Tom Cruise. If he's going to sign on, they're going to kind of go with what he wants.
Yeah.
He likes to have a lot of control as far as like production and like things in the movie. He likes to have a very hands-on approach, again, from what I've heard. I don't know the man. And then I also, from what I've heard, don't think he would want to be involved in another long-term, long-standing franchise, because he's already got Mission Impossible, and then he does his little one-offs and stuff. I don't think he would want to be tied up in like the MCU. It's pretty demanding.
Well, you don't have to make Norman Osborn in the 616 like that deep or long. Like, he could just be there to set up Oscorp and then die, and then have Harry Osborn.
To not do Green Goblin, that's a waste.
I guess that's fair.
Especially if you're bringing Tom Cruise to do it.
Well, but...
Not that I think he'd be a good Green Goblin at all.
He could be. It would be really interesting.
Again, maybe I'd have to see Collateral. Like, I'd have to see how he does it. Green Goblin is like an unhinged lunatic.
Yeah.
Like
I've
Heath
never
Ledger
seen him.
Joker level of like, you know. So I don't know.
I've never seen Tom Cruise in a role like that, though.
That's
why
what I'm
it's
saying.
so interesting to me.
It would be intriguing, but like if I'm fan casting it, I'm not putting Tom Cruise in that.
Sure, I'll
now,
give you that.
If it came out that he was doing it, I'd be like, oh man, they must have like screen tested and like they must see something there. Like I guarantee. I'll put it like this: I don't see a world where he becomes Norman Osborn and then becomes the Green Goblin and it's bad. Like, he puts everything into his roles. I'm sure it would be good.
Yeah.
But like if I'm fan casting it, I'm not thinking Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Well, to the point you made it earlier about it being a waste, I don't think it would be a waste because they already brought the Green Goblin into the Tom Holland universe with the multiverse in No Way Home. So we've already got a good Green Goblin for him.
Well, not really.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a waste, and we've already seen the Green Goblin as a main villain too, so it's not a waste in that sense. But just to have him, if he had a significant part in Battle World or something,
Yeah, no, I mean that'd be cool.
as the Green Goblin, like
Tom Cruise. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Tom Cruise as Green Goblin versus Tom Cruise as Iron Man.
Can you imagine, like, with all the fan talk for all these years about Tom Cruise being an Iron Man variant? Can you imagine if Secret Wars comes out and during the Battle World sequence, all of a sudden we hear like some kind of like commotion and like flight, like you can tell it's like an engine that's like flying, and it cuts up and you can tell it's like an upward shot to the sky and it's Tom Cruise's face. And you're like, oh my God, they're doing Superior Iron Man. Then all of a sudden, a mask closes and it's Green Goblin and it cuts out and he's on a glider instead of in an Iron Man suit. People would lose their collective minds. And I don't know if they'd lose it in a good or bad way, to be honest with you.
I don't know either.
People would be like, what? what is going on? What movie are we even watching?
Yeah.
And then like Morgan Freeman comes in and starts narrating.
Yeah.
Because
as Blade.
You have to as Blade. That'd be awesome.
That would be kind of cool.
But yeah,
Tom Cruise in War of the Worlds versus Tom Cruise
now that's a multiverse
versus
movie.
Ethan Hunt.
Who's that? You got to compliment me.
You have a nice beard.
You have kind hair. You ever heard that growing up?
I think this is a good time to end it.
Right.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, that is all I've got.
Yeah. I just wanted to bring, again, I'm a little bit sad that we've talked about this because now it sets us up for huge disappointment if they don't fulfill. But
welcome to the MCU, baby.
I know. It's like, man, you really got to deliver here. And
they don't always disappoint, though. There was a lot of hype and fan talk going into No Way Home.
That's true.
There was a huge group of people that were like, there's no way. There's no way this is happening.
Yeah.
And then it happened. This is the biggest movies they've ever done will be Doomsday and Secret Wars. And they know it. Like, there's no hiding it. So hopefully they know the assignment and they're going into it well prepared.
Yeah, but I don't think that we're going to get a Hulk versus Thanos rematch.
We might not.
Because nobody, like No Way Home, everybody was talking about it. Like there was so much demand for it. This is something that's more like, I think people would flip out if it happened, but I don't think people feel as strongly about it as like you or I do on a general basis.
Well, keep in mind too, you're like 2 years removed from Secret Wars and 2 movies at least.
You mean Endgame?
No. I'm saying,
Oh, yeah. Sorry,
like,
yeah.
as we get closer to Secret Wars, you probably be surprised the things that you'll start to see floating around from fans being like, we need to see this, or I hope we see this, or I've heard we're
yeah.
going to see this, or I've seen a leaked thing, and we're going to. But you got a while. Like, next year is Brand New Day and Doomsday, which is going to set up a whole new thing of expectations. The year after that is Secret. Like, we got a long time before you start seeing all the stuff about what we'll probably see in the Battle World sequence in Secret Wars.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be nuts.
I want to cut it right there. Like, I just want to end it. I don't even want to do a sign off. It's gonna be nuts. Bam.
When you said it was funnier than when I said it, though. We got to cut it off yours now.
Great.
I almost made a joke that probably I shouldn't make on the podcast.
Worse than the if you Richard the comics. All right, guys. All right. We'll see y'all next time. And hopefully we'll be a little more mature. I doubt it, though.
Me too. On both accounts. Hope and doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, Screenwoven episode 16. We'll see you next time.
Your hub for all things stories.